What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Thank you for watching. You either just bought the Dähler valve controller or you're thinking about it. And I'm gonna do a quick step-by-step install of how to put this in. I looked at a few on the market. This one is probably the simplest and most elegant solution to just controlling the valves on a F or G series BMW. And what I mean by that is some of them need a separate power source. Some of them require running the actual controller in the cabin because they're not weather or heat resistant. This one is all of the above, so it's very simple, easy to install, and I'm gonna give you a step-by-step of how to do that. So the unit itself comes with the actual valve controller, and mine's a G80, obviously, with 2 valves, so it comes with 2. You can select 1 or 2 depending on what model you have, and this does work for F and G series. Comes with a remote, battery's already included. Open and close the valves, little keychain, some 3M double-sided tape for mounting if you want to, and some zip ties to clean up the cables, which I have all that anyways. That's very nice they provided that because it's definitely going to be needed to keep it nice and clean, which you'll see. So let's get into it. So first of all, if you're wondering, with the 2 valve unit, both of the cables are the same length, so it doesn't matter which side you put these on. Because it can go on multiple F and G series BMWs with 2 valves, so both sides are exactly the same. So up under the vehicle on the driver's side, right behind the rear left tire, is this wheel well, which is just plastic, and inside here there's a little opening. This is where we're going to house the box itself. It seems to be, from what I've seen from other videos and forums, it seems to be the safest place to put it, because even though it is weather and heat resistant, you don't want to expose it to the elements even though it's a sealed box. So this is going to fit up nicely right behind here, and that's what the double-sided mounting tape is for. So essentially, before we do that, you want to make sure that your wires are ran to where they need to be before you tape everything down. So I'm going to take one side and I'm going to use this side for the passenger side in order to get it under there so it's not hanging over the exhaust. There's a double 2-tier heat shield. There's an outer layer and an inner layer. So I'm going to take both of these and run it right here. The opening is just big enough, and that's going to let me run it all the way across to the other side. And once this is all the way in, we'll jump to the other side and show you what it looks like. And then once on the other side, these pull out just like this. So these 2 cables are just run cleanly behind the heat shield all the way to the other side. Okay, so once we have these cables run through the heat shield on the passenger side, all you're gonna do is up under here, pinch up. You can use a pick tool. Some of them have a little lock on most of the BMW connectors, but this one, if you reach behind it, pull your finger, and then pull down, it'll disconnect. Like I said earlier, these are both the same. So for each side, because you're disconnecting, this one runs to the ECU, which runs to the valve controller itself. It tells it what to do based on an algorithm, which is the whole reason we're changing it and installing this mod. So what you're doing is essentially from the Dähler unit, there's a male and a female. So from the Dähler, you're taking the female, the male that you just unplugged from here, and you're going to plug those 2 into each other. And you push that till it clicks, and you're secured. And then you're taking the Dähler male and plugging it in to replace the OEM plug. And just push that till it clicks. And then the gray locking tab, push up, and that locks it in. So once these 2 are installed, it's one cable, and then at the very end it splits off. So I'm going to run the slack of the main cable on the other end. But for these two, if you see this is tight, this one has a lot of slack. So what I'm going to do is take one of the provided zip ties, take this end of the plug, run it back up under here. So it's out of the way, it's not hanging on the exhaust, causing any issues. And once that, and just be careful not to bend any of the plugs. You want to make sure it's nice and secure and snug, but you're not stressing any of the plugs as well. And once that is up there, just taking my zip tie, make sure it's nice and secure, and then simply clip off the excess. Okay, so back on the driver's side, here's the slack of the passenger side valve that we ran through. Just gonna leave that out of the way. And then same thing as the other side. Take your finger behind here, pick up on the clip, push down, and it pops right out. So this side, since we're close to where the box is gonna go, I'm just gonna plug this directly into here, and then all the slack wire, I'm gonna roll it up, zip tie it, and put it behind here securely with the box as well. So this side, we're just simply going to plug in. Click that in place, and then same as the other side, we're gonna run this in here. Push that in place, hit the locking tab, click it in place, and that's it. So now we're just gonna peel the back of this tape. And this is double-sided 3M mounting tape, but it's also Velcro. So semi-permanent to here and semi-permanent to the box, but if you needed to pull it out, the Velcro tabs would come off. So we're gonna push this. May have to apply a little pressure to get it back there. And once it's back there, so now I'm going to take one zip tie and tie the passenger side cable, which has the least slack. So I'm just going to do one loop on it, and then take the slack like so. And run it up in there like this. So this is not too tight, but it's also not going to hang down and cause any issues. And that loop, which is zip tied in there, is now too big to fall back out, so it's secured. Now, since the driver's side is right here, you're going to have at least 3 or 4 feet of slack. So I'm going to roll this up as efficiently as possible. Now just keep in mind you have this connection. This one's right here, so you don't want that to be too tight. You want there to be a little bit of slack. And then this is also going to be hanging down, so you don't want that too tight as well. I'm going to err on the side of a little bit looser, so I don't put too much tension on these wires. And if there's any left over, I'm just going to zip tie it to the passenger side. So I'm going to keep this a little looser. And let's just do one cable right here, like so. And then we're just going to run this in one bunch behind here as well with the rest of it. Making sure this doesn't have too much tension. That looks fine. I also don't want to pull that any more than it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one, the secondary one, and I'm going to run it just right here. Like so, to keep that clean. And then I'll probably take one more. And loop it up behind this one, so it also is not hanging down. So we can just trim that off. Those two are tied together. And we can trim that off as well. And that's it. Everything's secured, nothing's hanging down, nothing's touching any hot pipes, and everything else is right behind there mounted, all set. Now let's see what it sounds like. So as you just heard with the Dähler valve controller, it does sound a little bit louder. I've been driving with it for about 2 weeks now. I will say it is noticeably different. I'm not saying it's the loudest thing out there, but it does show you just how muffled the stock exhaust is from BMW. When those valves are fully open, it has a nice deep tone. Even in efficient mode, if you're just cruising and keeping the engine in efficient mode, has a nice tone to it, to where before, if the valves are closed or running on stock, ECU controlling the valves, it's completely quiet. You can't hear anything. So with this fully open, for some people, I imagine it's probably loud enough for some people just to give that extra tone and hear something from the engine besides just the burbles on Sport Plus tune or Sport Plus mode. But for me, the next up thing will be the mid-pipe. I have one picked out, I believe, so that will be coming soon. And I'll do a video on that for you guys as well. But yeah, about a week or two into this, and the valve controller, it works, it's awesome, great quality, zero issues so far, and it sounds pretty good. And it definitely makes a difference from that. So this will be stage one of the exhaust videos I'll be doing. This is obviously the smallest, lightest, quietest I'll be doing. Mid-pipe will be up next. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope this helps. Catch you on the next one.